Welcome everyone. So this breaking news just came out. I'm at Steve Lickner. I'm at the Right Side Broadcasting office, which you can recognize in the back of me probably, and wanted to report on this breaking news which just came out, which is that the House said that they're going to vote on this health bill tomorrow. Now, for those of you who are watching our coverage of the Sean Spicer briefing, this should not be a surprise to you, because we talked about this very possibility, and I had even said I tweeted out today, it was looking to me like they were going to vote on this. Things were looking positive on this one. So supposedly the vote's going to be tomorrow, and furthermore, Speaker Ryan says that he has the votes to pass this bill. So we're going to talk about this for a few minutes, but I want to first, I haven't even gone on Twitter yet, just gotten my updates on this news. So come on to Twitter with me as I go and check and make sure. Let's see here. I have a House vote scheduled for tomorrow. I don't know what time tomorrow. Let's see. There's no, so official announcement is expected soon on this House vote, but no official announcement yet. I'm still going here. Excuse me, I'm just going through my Twitter, making sure I'm getting the official notice has gone out to House lawmakers. Let me show you this. This is from Jamie Dupree, his Twitter. Let me show you this notice here that went out. Let's see if I can do this here. Okay. You can see it says important scheduling announcement. This went out to all the House lawmakers. That's courtesy of Jamie Dupree. Important scheduling announcement, courtesy of the Majority Leader. Members are advised that the House will consider the American Health Care Act along with H.R. 2192 tomorrow. Multiple vote series are expected, with first votes occurring as early as 10 a.m. So it looks like 10 a.m., but that's the first votes. It looks like that this will be done not at night tomorrow, but during the day tomorrow in the morning. So, and again, this breaking news, the House is going to vote on the Obamacare replacement bill tomorrow, and Paul Ryan says he has the votes to pass it. And also remember, the House leadership had said they weren't going to vote on this unless they thought they had the votes to pass it. So now they're saying they have the votes to pass it. Let me see if I can get you some more information. But just a little background before we talk about get more information off of online about this. But so this bill, you remember the first Obamacare replacement bill, the first version of the AHCA was pulled before they could vote on it. But this new version, there have been some changes made to it that make it different than the first version. And the big changes, it seems like, in this new version of the health bill, which are making people, which have brought more Republicans on board, are that in this new version of the health bill, it takes a couple parts of Obamacare and it says they're optional. They're no longer required. So one part of Obamacare said that every health insurance policy you buy has to cover a certain number of essential benefits. There's a big list of benefits it needs to cover. And in this replacement bill, the one the House is going to vote on, it says states can opt out of that. So states can choose to have plans not offer all the essential health benefits that Obamacare requires. So in theory, that could help the rates come down for people because the plans wouldn't have to cover so much. So that's big change one. Big change two is that in Obamacare, there's a pre-existing conditions clause which says health insurers cannot charge anything more than they charge to healthy people. They can't charge people with pre-existing conditions more than they charge healthy people of the same age. In this replacement bill, it says the states can opt out of that. It says states, if they want, can allow insurers to charge people with pre-existing conditions more, or it can allow insurers to not offer care to pre-existing conditions as long as some other provision is made for people with pre-existing conditions. Maybe it's a high-risk pool that they have to buy into. So the theory here is that by making some of these Obamacare requirements optional, if states got rid of these Obamacare requirements, the average person could pay less for their health premiums. Now, on the flip side, if you're someone with a pre-existing condition, you might have to pay more for your health premium. So there's costs and benefits and pluses and minuses here, but those are the big two changes that have gotten more Republicans on board with this from the House. And also there was one more change, which is, it looked like they were close in the House, but they weren't going to have the votes to pass. But a couple of House members switched their vote yesterday after meeting with President Trump and hearing that the bill was going to add this provision, which was $8 billion more to help people with pre-existing conditions pay for their insurance. So that was supposedly an important provision that was put in, and also the meeting with President Trump, perhaps that helped. And President Trump, as Sean Spicer said today in the briefing, President Trump has been on the phone with House members the last few days trying to lobby them, and he met with those two House members I talked about before. So President Trump seems to have been putting a lot of his energy into personal energy into trying to get a bill passed in the House, a version of this Obamacare replacement bill. And also another thing we talked about earlier in our coverage of the Spicer briefing is that the House goes on recess on Friday for 11 days. So if they're going to pass this before recess, they need to pass it tomorrow. And so it's not surprising that they were going to vote on it tomorrow, if they were going to vote on it this week, because that's when they have to vote on it. And President Trump, it seems like he really wants this. He wants this progress to be made. And also, I talked about earlier today that one might think that if it's going to pass, it's probably better to have them vote before the recess than after the recess. This is an article in the New York Times said this, but I think it's a good point that if they go on recess, they might start hearing complaints from some of their constituents, and maybe some House members will have second thoughts. So you might as well strike while the iron is hot. So again, the breaking news is that the House is going to vote on the health bill tomorrow, and Paul Ryan says he has the votes to pass it. And from what we've been seeing signs-wise from House members, it seems like this time they really might be able to pass it as opposed to a month or so ago when it wasn't able to pass. So we'll keep an eye on this. I want to check some more up for my news feed for some more updates, but also want to say if you would like to write in and have any comments on this during this live stream, give me a shout. I'm on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner, or email me at rightsidebroadcasting@steve.lookner@rsbn.tv. Speaking of which, I need to get my email up here. Oh my gosh, I don't even know if I can remember how to do that on this computer because I don't have the bookmark in. Hold on a second. Let me just get this up here. Okay, that's good. Good so far. Log into email. Excuse me, give me 5 seconds so I can get your emails when you actually email me. Here's my name. Am I in? I think I'm in. There's my email. Okay, done. That's great. And I have my notifications up. Let me make sure I've answered all of your questions. I think we're good. I think I'm up to date. Oh, Mike Reeves writes in. Mike Reeves says, I'll believe it when I see it, but thanks for the heads up. I'll watch whatever's on RSBN. Well, thank you, Mike. Yeah, we'll be covering this tomorrow, definitely, when it's happening live. So we'll definitely be covering that for you. And thank you again to, I think it was Chris Douglas who made a donation already. Appreciate it, Chris. So feel free to write in. Again, on Twitter, you can reach me at Lookner, at Lookner, or email me, steve.lookner@rsbn.tv. I'd love to hear what you think about this news that the House is going to vote on the health care bill tomorrow to replace Obamacare, and supposedly they have enough votes to pass it, according to Paul Ryan. Now, just to clarify, I don't think this bill, if it passes, has any chance of being passed in the Senate. Now, the Senate would consider their own version of the bill, and the Senate very well might pass a bill which is very different from this House bill, if they pass one at all. And at that point, the question becomes, can the House and Senate get together and somehow reach some sort of compromise that can get 60%? Well, actually, I think they're doing this the way that they only need a majority in the Senate, I think, if I'm right about this. Budget reconciliation way. So it might, but it still needs to get a majority in the Senate and in the House. Can they reach a compromise even if the House and the Senate both pass some version of this healthcare bill? We'll see. But for now, the House is going to vote on it tomorrow, and they might even pass it. This is kind of sudden. I mean, we've been hearing some rumblings the last couple days. I will say this, though. I will say, and I think Brandon, hi Brandon, how are you?
Hey!
Brandon's here. Brandon's gonna be producing Nick Fuentes' show. So Brandon, you can wave hello if you want. So we're here covering. That's Brandon. He's producing Nick Fuentes tonight. So you'll see his handiwork tonight. And we are doing as I said, we're covering this breaking news that the House is going to vote tomorrow on the health bill. And I will say this, that a few weeks ago, a month ago, when the health bill first was voted on, and Congress didn't manage to pass it, and then they pulled the bill, and everybody was saying, like, what a mess this is, what a mess President Trump's administration is, they can't do anything right, it's amateur hour, they'll never get anything passed, and I've heard this again and again and again. That wasn't that long ago, but now it seems they are going to maybe get something passed. So will the people who were complaining about how terrible the administration was being run and how amateur it was, will they change their tune perhaps at all? If this gets passed tomorrow, we'll see. All right, and let me see here. Chris Douglas writes in, Chris says, it will be interesting to see what the fallout will be if this doesn't pass. I don't think that they would even consider bringing this to the House unless Ryan was absolutely sure it will pass. As for the Senate, we'll cross that bridge when it comes. You do make a good point, Chris, which is that, if this didn't pass tomorrow, it would be a gigantic embarrassment. It's one thing to have to pull a bill once, but if they do it tomorrow and it doesn't pass tomorrow, yeah, I agree, it would be an incredible embarrassment. But I also agree with your way of thinking on this, Chris, that Paul Ryan must be pretty sure it's going to be passed to bring it to a vote. Doesn't mean it's not going. It's going to pass definitely, but he's got to be pretty sure. And also, before the last bill happened, we were seeing a number of Congress people come out on Twitter and say, I'm not voting for this. And I had a hard time, even the day they brought the bill, they said they were going to vote on the bill. I was saying on air, this is not going to pass, and I bet there's a decent chance they won't vote on it, because I saw so many Congress people coming out publicly saying they weren't going to vote on it. This isn't happening this time. We actually see, if anything, we're seeing some Congress people come out and say in the last day or so, I am going to vote for this bill. So it just feels different. It feels like it's on its way to passing. We will see, though. We'll see tomorrow when we cover it for you. All right. I want to check and see if I want to just check my Twitter and just check and see if there's any new. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is a very interesting tweet from Jim Acosta from CNN, who I know a lot of you hate CNN, but I do follow Jim Acosta because he will send out some news once in a while. Jim Acosta says, a GOP source close to the process says they are having a vote, not that they will have the votes. No guarantees this will pass, source cautions. Now, what I can't tell is this the GOP just kind of covering their butt and just saying, well, maybe they really do think it will pass, but they're just sort of saying this to in case it doesn't pass, they're not totally embarrassed or whatever. But that is, according to a GOP source, Jim Acosta says they're saying they're having a vote, not that they have the votes. But I do agree with Chris Douglas that they wouldn't have this vote unless they thought that they were going to pass it. Okay. I know everybody hates Acosta out there, I know, but this was important news, so I wanted to share it with you. You don't have to follow him. Let's see here. I'm just trying to get some more feedback here. There's an interesting thing going on also. Some Republicans, this is from Jamie Dupree. Let me show you this though. So Jamie Dupree says, for those counting votes, 3 House Republicans missed every vote today. Chaffetz, Newhouse, and Poliquin. And so Chaffetz, I believe, I think he had some kind of foot procedure. He's been having a health issue recently, not a long-term health issue, not something that's going to not a terminal illness, but something he needed to take care of, and he wasn't able to make the House today. And so, if it's a close vote, it could matter whether Republicans like Chaffetz are able to actually be at the vote or not. I have not heard anything about whether Chaffetz might be at the vote. So, but it's something to keep an eye on if it's a close vote. So we'll see. He just had foot surgery. That's what he just had. So we'll see if he can make it in for the vote. I have to imagine he'll try. I am looking here. Here's an interesting tweet from Stephen Dennis, who I follow, and he's talking about the Senate here. But he says, He said the Senate only needs 50 votes plus Pence to pass. Mistake to underestimate partisan momentum to do something on their number one campaign pledge. And I think Stephen Dennis raises a good point here. You know, the House didn't pass, the first time this came up, the House didn't vote on it. But it's possible in the last few weeks, since the bill failed to even go to a vote, that, you know, the Republicans in Congress have taken stock and they've said to themselves, look, we got to do something. We're going to look really bad if we don't get anything done. And maybe they've just decided, you know, we got to get something done. Now, this health care bill is not a complete repeal of Obamacare. And in a lot of ways, it's very similar to Obamacare. So maybe they figure, look, we'll pass some version of a health care bill that makes some changes, but it doesn't get rid of anything completely that people like, that a lot of people like, or any of the big entitlement parts. So again, this House bill, it doesn't get rid of pre-existing conditions. It doesn't get rid of the essential health benefits. It just makes states be able to opt out of them. And in a way, it allows the House to just blame the states if they choose not to keep these things going. It sort of puts the burden on the states, because the House can say, well, you know, we passed a bill that had pre-existing condition coverage in it, and certain states chose to, chose to get rid of it. So in a way, it's like passing this bill where it lets the states opt out of certain benefit portions of Obamacare. It's kind of this clever tactic politically, perhaps, for the Congress, because it lets them pass something. But if people complain to them, oh, you took out this part of Obamacare and I don't get this benefit from Obamacare, they can say, no, we left that in the bill. You should blame your state. So perhaps that allowed them to allowed enough people to come on board here. So I'm just saying clever in terms of, you know, politically. I'm not saying whether it's the best thing for the country or anything. Okay, so that's a thought. Let me just see if there's anything else interesting here. Also, feel free again to write in. I'd love to hear your thoughts while we're covering this breaking news that the House is going to vote on the Obamacare replacement bill tomorrow, and supposedly they have the votes to pass it, at least right now. If you want to write in, give me a shout on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner, or direct message me at email me, steve.lookner@rsbn.tv. And I should also say, if you enjoy our coverage and enjoy having an alternate to the mainstream media, because we do try to bring that to you, and if you enjoy like our coverage of President Trump's rallies and our coverage of breaking news, that's, you know, so you don't have to watch it on CNN or MSNBC or even Fox, please consider donating, because we rely on your donations for support. We can't stay on the air without your donations. It's the main source of our funding. So if you'd like to donate, very easy. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can click the $ sign at the bottom of the chat room. Or you can go to rsbn.tv/donate, rsbn.tv/donate. And if you want to maybe make a recurring donation once a month and get free stuff in return, check out our Patreon site, www.patreon.com/rsbn. And if you donate in the chat room while I'm on the air, I will thank you, like I thanked Chris Douglas earlier, because I appreciate it, and we appreciate it. Let's see here. And also be sure to watch. So we might be crossing over in streams, but if you want to open both windows, Nick Fuentes' show is going to start in 6 minutes, and so you should watch that as well as watch this. Or, you know, you can watch both. You can watch one and then watch the other, because it's YouTube, so you can put one on pause and then watch the other one after. I would encourage you to watch both of them. And let's see here. Hey, Brandon, could you just let Nick know that I apologize if our streams cross a little bit?
That's fine.
All right, because the breaking news came out. Because I hate when our streams, when we're running two streams at all. Yeah. So, but hopefully people will watch both of them. Okay. So Brandon is back there. We're in the office, and Brandon's getting Nick Fuentes. He's getting Nick Fuentes' stream set up right now. Okay. Let me just look here. I'm trying to get you some more information about this. Here's some news. This is posted about. Actually, this was about an hour ago. So, but it's. I lost you for a second. Let's see if I can get you back. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. So we have here, let me show you. Hold on. See, this is the kind of thing that was happening today. Scott Wong, about an hour ago, said, Representative Webster from Florida tells me he has flipped from a no to a yes on the health care bill. That was about an hour ago. So we saw a bunch of stuff like, the first time this healthcare bill came up for a vote, we were seeing a lot, or was going to come up for a vote, we were seeing a lot of tweets where people said we're not voting for it. Whereas we're seeing more and more tweets like this today. And I'll say this, that it's also possible that if it looks like this will pass, you might have even more Republicans vote for it. Maybe there's Republicans out there who are saying, I'm not sure if I want to vote for this, but if it's going to pass, they don't want to be left as the ones who voted against it. So even though it's close right now, don't be surprised if it passes tomorrow with a sizable margin, just because some Republicans who weren't going to vote for it, they figure, oh, it's going to pass now, so I should vote for it. That could happen too. Let's see here. We have here, this is from Alex Moe, and I know, NBC News, but let me show you her tweet real quick. Sorry, that's the phone. I don't want to show you the phone. I want to show you this tweet. Alex Moe says, except Majority Leader McCarthy told reporters tonight, we will pass the bill, and said, yes, we do have the votes. So Jim Acosta had said that this GOP source said no guarantees this will pass, but then Alex Moe from NBC News said, Majority Leader McCarthy told reporters tonight, we will pass this bill, and said, yes, we do have the votes. I want to repeat this point again, because I think it's important. Remember, a month ago, or 3 weeks ago, whenever it was, when the bill was pulled from the House, I'm not going to get that, I'll keep talking to you. That's right, that was Nick, actually. So when the bill was going to pass the House, when the bill was going to be voted on the House and then it was pulled, we just kept hearing so much about and we've been hearing this all along, about how the Trump White House can't get anything done, how they're amateurish, how they're totally disorganized, how nothing's ever going to get done, how the House leadership can't do anything. If this passes tomorrow, I'm interested in seeing if some people change their tune about that and say, and take back some of the things they said, or at least say, oh, I guess they're not so disorganized anymore. And this is not a year later. This is like a few weeks later. I didn't hear anybody last week even talking about this being possible. Certainly among the mainstream media, no one was talking about it being possible. So, just a thought I have on this. Let me see what else is going on here. I'm just seeing if there's more updates here. You'll enjoy this one. This is an unsurprising tweet from Nancy Pelosi, sort of like violent in a way. Representative Nancy Pelosi says, every Republican who votes for Trump Care will have it tattooed on their forehead. I'm not sure what that's supposed to mean. Tattooed on their forehead? I mean, I guess it means that, like, we'll hold you to it. I feel like the tattooed on their forehead is a little sort of graphic, or makes it seem like they're going to be targeted or something. I don't know, That's what she said. By the way, this guy is a great guy to follow on Twitter, Jamie Dupree. Really balanced, a lot of good updates, no agenda. He just gives you news, so I like following him. Anyways, that's exciting. Another exciting tweet from Nancy Pelosi. I thought I'd share with you. And just so you know, in the background, that's Brandon, and he's putting together Nick Fuentes' show. So he knows we're on the air, but he has to talk to Nick just to make sure that show gets on the air.
All right, let me know you're ready.
Let's see here.
Man, you know what? We may do what
And
I
I'm
may
looking,
do like a
so we're going to stay on a few more minutes here. Nick Fuentes is coming on, so be sure to watch his show as well. You can watch it after this if you'd like, or pause this and watch that. If you have any thoughts on it, on this healthcare bill, we'd love to hear what you have to think. Direct message me on Twitter at Lookner, at Lookner, or email me, steve.lookner@rsbn.tv, and know that we will cover this vote tomorrow. We are covering it for you. We'll cover it all day if it takes all day. We'll do it. Okay, I think someone wrote me here. Sean Dunleavy writes, watching, oh, you know what I can do? I can do this. I can give people extra shout out. Look at this. I can show it. Sean Dunleavy. That's Sean Dunleavy. So I showed you a picture, Sean. He says, watching in from The Hague, the Netherlands. Great job, guys. That's Sean Dunleavy from the Netherlands. He says hello. Thank you, Sean, for saying that. See, I like this. I like that I can give you guys, I can show your pictures when we're doing it on my iPad. And a couple other little notes I saw about President Trump. We have we have this from Mark Knoller. This is about tomorrow, busy day tomorrow. Also on Thursday, President Trump to observe National Day of Prayer and sign controversial executive order on religious freedom. Now, I have to confess to you, I need to read up on what this executive order is. It's something I meant to do and I haven't done it yet, so I will do that tonight. But that's going on. And there's another thing about tomorrow I wanted to show you as well, if I can find it. Tomorrow also, President Trump makes first NYC visit home, meets with Trumbull Malcolm at Battle of Coral Sea event aboard USS Intrepid. So I have to assume, though, President Trump isn't going to stay in NYC all day, because if they vote on the health care bill, I would think he would want to be in D.C. So we'll see.
I'll turn down the set.
Oh, that's fine. And you in the back, you're just hearing the start of Nick's show. We try not to have multiple shows going on at once here, but sometimes it's a little unavoidable.
All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, you're live.
Let's see here. All right, so it seems, at least for now, we're caught up on the news in terms of what's breaking on this. And so the basic idea is that we have a vote coming up, House, tomorrow on the replacement health bill, the AHCA. It'll be in the morning sometime. At least it'll start in the morning sometime. But they said it's going to require multiple votes. So don't know how long the whole process will take. We will plan on covering it for you. No, Trump was supposed to go to the Intrepid tomorrow. He's supposed to go to New York tomorrow, GM. And I will take a second and look at your comments, by the way. I'm sitting here before I go and before I leave you to watch Nick Fuentes. I will look at the comments real quick to see if anybody's posting anything there. I've been kind of busy, so I'm sorry I haven't been able to see all your comments. Yes, so I think I'm going to let you guys go and go watch Nick Fuentes, so you can go watch him. This has been breaking news coverage from Right Side Broadcasting Studios in Auburn, Alabama. I am Steve Lookner. Thank you to the moderators for moderating the chat. Thank you all for watching. And thank you, SMZR, and everybody else who's saying thanks now real quick. Your chat disappeared. Thanks, GM. Thanks, Linny. Before I go, I'll say some more thank yous to people who are writing in. If I could see your chat in the chat. Your chat disappeared. I'll give it one more second to see if I see any more people in the chat. Thanks, Andrew. Thanks, GM. Thank you, moderators. Thanks, Rocky Mike. Appreciate it. Thank you. All right, looks like that's it. Guys, I will see you soon. Definitely see you tomorrow for this vote. And as JC says, thanks, Deadhead. Thanks, Chris, so much. As Deadhead says, please go check out Nick Fuentes, who's just starting right now. You can watch him now at Right Side. So for me here, have a great night. I'll see you tomorrow.